Chris Creasey, welcome to the Preconstruction Podcast.
Hey, Gareth, thank you for having me here. Pretty excited about this today.
My pleasure. The new VP of Gaming at Suffolk. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you on your new role.
Thank you, thank you. This is an exciting venture I'm on now. So we're really excited what Suffolk can do in the gaming world.
Brilliant. And listen, you're the first gaming professional expert we've had on, so I want to get into that more than anything. But before we do that, give people an idea of your background, a quick bio, please.
Quickly, I'm from Western New York, not upstate, it's Western New York. So moved out to Phoenix in the early 90s, finished an economics degree and got into construction and kind of never left. It's just something that's always been in the back of my mind. I don't have a construction education background, but it's been something I've been good at. And it took a lot of people telling me I was good at it for me to realize I was good at it. So it's been exciting to move up through the ranks, being a very low level takeoff estimator to now a vice president in charge of gaming nationally for Suffolk Construction.
Love it. Well, Chris, that hits a point for me and exactly why the Pre-Construction Podcast exists. It's bringing people from other industries. So people that have studied other degrees, other masters, been in other trades, getting them into construction. Had you any family in construction, cousins in construction, or was it just a good construction company that got you hooked down in Phoenix?
I moved to Phoenix and I knew one person to give me a job. And it happened to be an electrical contractor. So my dad was a steel worker, rolling steel. Mom worked for Fisher Price Toys. So really zero construction background in the family. Just one of those things that it just naturally came to me.
Well, we're delighted to have you. And then the other one I wanted to ask you, straight into estimating, when you went to Tutor Perini, was that because of the economics background, or what kind of drew you into the pre-construction side rather than the operations side?
Starting out, it was, I know how to count, I knew how to do the takeoffs, I knew how to read the drawings. I was actually trying to stay out of construction, but I needed a job right away. And a friend at a bar says, "I'm going to fire my estimator. You know how to do that stuff." And from there, I actually was an estimator and an assistant project manager for a small design build firm. Funny story was I wanted a $5,000 raise after a few years because I was actually replaced two other estimators. So I was doing the job of three. And he told me no. And I said, well, heck with this. And Headhunter called me and Perini hired me. And come to find out, he hired three people to replace me. And I'm going, wait a minute, Frank, this doesn't make sense. He goes, you didn't belong here anymore. You needed to go somewhere else. So he kind of pushed me out the door to go to a larger firm like Perini. And that's where my gaming venture started.
Brilliant. I wouldn't say that too loud. Suffolk will be thinking they don't need any help in Las Vegas. They'll be saying you can do it all yourself.
I tell you what, Suffolk has got such a great support network. It's a great thing. I don't have to do it by myself. It's
right.
I go to do something and my boss will say, this person takes care of that and this person takes care of that. So it's really, really nice to see the expansive support network Suffolk has and how high quality people they are.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. When you plug in high quality individuals like yourself on the pre-con side to the mass support that you have and the brand of Suffolk, only good things will happen. And obviously the gaming industry, for anybody, I mean, and to be honest with you, to be felt, very few listeners will have a good understanding of the gaming industries. Give us the nuances of the gaming industry. What makes it so special and what makes it so specialized when it comes to contractors delivering big projects?
Well, you think about it, when you build a school, the faster you get the school open, you're not making any more money. The school needs to open by the start of the school year. It'd be nice. If it doesn't, no big deal. You're building an office building. Yeah, They're getting their $6 a square foot rent maybe a little bit sooner, but it's not moving the needle. When I open a casino, we're talking millions of dollars a day. That you're paying down your construction loan rather fast when you're generating those kind of incomes. So sometimes it'll be, hey, if I spend $1 million on overtime, I can open you 2 weeks earlier. Well, that could be 14, $15 million. So that's one of the things about the speed of gaming that's different. Excuse me. The other big thing is the quality too. An office building is an office building. Yeah, you may have a couple of nicer finishes, but I just built the Eiffel Tower. I just built a Roman Colosseum. I just built this huge guitar that's a hotel room, a hotel. There's got to be a high level quality there because these casinos are competing with their next door neighbor to do something bigger and better. So that's why gaming, I believe, is different. It's just not the same old thing. One thing I always like to say is I get to build someone's dream. Yeah. Someone dreams I'm going to put a upside down tree in this casino. It's going to be a restaurant. I get to build that kind of stuff. So that's the exciting part. And again, trying to get those properties open and maintain your quality. We do the impossible every day. It just takes miracles a little bit longer to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the competitive side of it as well, what you just said. It's not just your normal high-rise or mixed-use project. It's something bigger, better, more special to entice people in. And eventually that is what Las Vegas is all about. But you talked earlier about the almost the three most important things where you're kind of getting all three of them just right to be able to move forward quickly. Because if you kind of touch up or touch down either of the three, we always call it the three-legged stool, but give us an idea of how that works and how efficient it can be and how detrimental it can be.
The goal at the end of the day is quality. You want to have a quality product. And in your three legs, you have your scope, you have your schedule, and you have your budget. If I want to cut my budget, am I cutting my scope down? Am I cutting the quality down? I want to increase the schedule. Is it affecting my budget? Are we taking some scope out we don't need to build? So it is a very, very delicate balance. And typically in the gaming industry, the leg that gets cut out is really the budget. Going back to, okay, I'm going to spend a little bit more on my budget because I'm going to get open a little faster, or I'm going to increase the quality of my project to beat my competitor. So that's the one that typically gets sacrificed. And as pre-construction people know, you're way over budget. And then at the end of the day, after you've done all these cuts, you see them put all the money back into the project and go, wait a minute, why did I fight all that up front?
I love it. Pulling your hair out. But also being a pre-construction and estimator, having that big budget to do and work well with it, it must be a joy. It must be a dream.
Oh, it is. It's, we start these projects, typical construction where it's you design it, you bid it, you build it. When you're going to bid it, you've got pretty complete documents. I had a project here in Las Vegas. I sat with an architect an 11 by 17 piece of paper and just wrote down notes. I came up with a $376 million GMP, and our final contract was $374 million when we were all done, not counting owner changes. So talk about excitement when you don't even have drawings and you're coming to that GMP, and you're dialed into it even more. I mean, talk about a rush
That,
for estimating.
that's it. That's what it's all about. It's like being on a craps table in Vegas, but it's amazing. I mean, to be that accurate on a conceptual estimate that's something special. I mean, how many years of experience does that take to get there? Because obviously there's projects that you have done that allowed you the experience to be able to make that sort of calculation.
Yeah, you're using historical data. You're making sure you're accelerating it to the current market. It's relationships with subcontractors. I can sit with the subcontractor and say, this is the type of wall we're putting in. What's that running me right now? Yeah. There's no drawings. He's not doing any takeoffs. We get dialed in with that relationship, and that helps us create these pretty detailed estimates. And, with Suffolk's gaming background, I can go back on all the historical data and help build that. So when it's time to build another guitar, I've got data on how to build a guitar,
I don't think that would interest you building the same thing again. I think you want a new napkin by the sounds of things, Chris.
Well, it's one of those things. How can you take that and make it better?
Yeah.
And the client won't want to build that same thing. They'll want to change it some. So it's taking your lessons learned and how do you improve on that.
Yeah. And tell me, right, so we had a lot of data center pre-con VPs on recently, and like electrical package can be up to 40-45%. What's a big gaming project? What sort of scopes of works, what kind of packages are the most important?
Well, obviously, electrical is one of the most important, and that runs in that 20% range. And I look at the HVAC plumbing, that's like 25%. When I put all my numbers together, then I do that analysis. That plumbing HVAC should be just a little bit more than my electrical number combined. The electrical, number one, because of all your gaming stuff and the added lights and all that. And then the technologies in your hotel rooms. The HVAC side, you don't want it smelling like an ashtray in there. And you see some of the newer properties or that have new equipment, they have that quick air exchange.
Yes.
So, I walked into a property the other day that was rather old, and man, I smell like a cigarette from it being there 5 minutes. So, those are two big components. I think your enclosure is the other key one now. What is this property going to look like? Is it all glass? Is it a mixture of EIFS or GFRC panels? What gives it that iconic look that the architect wants, that statement? After that, you're talking about your structure. How fast can I get my structure done to put all these cool elements in it?
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting stuff. And then you talked earlier about the 450-foot guitar-shaped hotel that's been built. How does Suffolk's unique construction management approach prove? How is it so valuable to clients in the gaming industry?
Well, I think you need to look at the technologies that Suffolk uses. I mean, the technology, the data, AI. We have an owner's dashboard that an owner can just pull it up on his cell phone and see how many RFIs are open. What's his cash flow at the time? Any other issues are there, and that's updated every 7 seconds. So if I'm pounding in a response to an RFI, and the owner can just pull that up and see it's covered, you're not waiting for an OAC meeting to get all this data.
Yeah. Speed. You talked about it before. It's all about the speed, and if they keep emphasizing the speed, I think you said it. Speed is always a factor. That helps massively.
And a key point that Suffolk has, we've got one owner. We don't have a board of directors. We're not waiting for someone to go through multiple layers for decisions. It's one guy, and he's always available to make that decision for us to help us move forward.
Brilliant. It's an agile, it's a big agile beast, because that's what a lot of the mid-sized GCs are doing right now. They're very agile, they're very quick when it comes to making decisions, having pre-construction services at the forefront of their mind, having the right technologies at their fingertips. So that's important. Is there any particular technology that really that you're looking forward to using that Suffolk have at their disposal?
We have our own estimating software, Edify. It gives us all cloud-based data. Doesn't matter what office you're in, you can access it. It really drives our conceptual and detailed cost estimates. And we can connect everyone with the workflows in a single location versus multiple servers all over the place. That I think is really key for us. For the client, I think it's some of the AI stuff that we're looking into, which it's more predictive indexes. One thing I think is really, really cool right now, the new metrics on predictive algorithms for safety risks. Nice. So you can take that historical data and say, this is where we see injuries. And we can put that as a flag to the superintendent. Hey, let's talk about this in our toolbox talk this morning, because this is where we see a lot of accidents happening. So, yeah, that's not pre-construction, but I think that's a huge selling point, because at the end of the day, we all want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And AI is disrupting us in every part of construction. And if it's going to send us home safer and in one piece, then it gets a go ahead here. And listen, that safety obviously will allow you to deliver stuff quicker as well. I mean, people don't understand the downtime when it comes to safety as well, if God forbid something serious happens.
Well, it's like anything. If you're doing it correctly the first time, yeah, you've got that speed factor you need. Safety should never be sacrificed for any reason. And if some people say you sacrifice safety for speed, they don't know how to build. Plain and simple. The other cool technology we got out there right now is Spot, our robot dog. He actually runs along the job site, but he's taking pictures from the same locations. He's on his path. That helps us in pre-construction in the future. Helps us on our scheduling. We can say, hey, what happened on that project? And we go back and look at Spot's data and say, okay, this is how we got through this. This is the timing it took to get through this. I think Spot's, a big part of the Suffolk family right now.
Brilliant. Yeah, he's amazing. I've seen some of the videos online of Spot. He's just everywhere at the minute. That's amazing. And I want to take you back just quickly, that kind of conceptual estimate that you did when you were so close on the price. What do you think is the big key secret to something like that? I'm thinking about trade partners, and I'm thinking about your relationships within the Las Vegas area. How important was that?
You hit it right there. It's relationships. I had a relationship with the architect. I've worked with this architect. He would be saying something, and I'm behind him writing on the board for a group of people. I'm writing what he's about to say, because we knew the nuances of each other, and we were able to connect. So when he said he wanted this in a room, I knew exactly what he wanted, and we could talk through things. And then I took that information to my key subcontractors and said, hey, this is what Joel's looking for on this. And okay, we know what he likes. We can do this. So it's all about that relationship building.
Yeah, and that's it.
And I guess the going back to our triangle, it's a total team effort. The owner has to be on board, the architect has to be on board, and the contractor has to be on board, not in an adversarial way, as a team to get the end goal.
Yeah.
You establish the goals. I think that's why it's key getting a Suffolk on board early in the process, so we can keep those costs down, maintain your quality, and give you a good schedule. because we're doing it before the architect has started drawing anything.
Yeah.
Once that architect draws and, oh, we've got a VE, well, you've just delayed your design schedule because he's got to go back and redraw stuff. When you're working together as that team up front, it just accelerates things more.
Yeah. And the real-time data you mentioned before, I mean, that must be invaluable, not only for the owner, but for the people in the Suffolk's team and the trade partners as well, to be able to get that instantaneous almost data.
Yes. It's working on a couple projects right now, and I put the budgets together, and everyone goes, "Is it really that?" I go, "Let's grab the subcontractor. He'll sign that contract right now and get going. Are you ready to go?" He goes, "Okay, I want to just check the brakes here real quick and see if you're BSing me or not." So,
and there's nothing better, Chris, to have that confidence, and obviously that confidence comes from experience, to be able to push your chest out and go, "No, this is the cost, and this is a historical data that points to that cost."
Right, and I keep on hitting on that relationship in the team. I can bring that subcontractor in the room and not even prep him, and he will give that exact same answer. And I've done this numerous times. Said, "Hey, send a text message. Meet me at this client's office here," and I have no qualms because we're talking the same language already.
Yeah, that's it. Continuity and understanding each other. So your role now, VP of Gaming, is obviously national as well. Where are we going to see you popping up throughout the US without giving any trade secrets away?
Yeah, I think the key word we just said was national. Obviously Las Vegas, we're planting our flag here. California, Indian Gaming, we're just finishing the Chicken Ranch, Rancheria project to be finished this year. You're going to see our name on at least 2, if not 3 or 4 other casinos that'll break ground in the next 12 months for sure, but some could break ground in the next 6.
Wow.
There's some opportunities in Oklahoma that, Oklahoma has the most casinos in the country. Some of them are the size of an office, at a gas station, but there are some big projects and some tribes that are looking to do some major expansions as well as new properties. So I feel confident with our Dallas office not far away that we will be able to go and manage those projects. There's numerous projects on the East Coast that will leave those states nameless right now, as well as the upper Midwest. So you're going to see Suffolk's flag flying coast to coast now. We were the number 3 builder in casinos in ENR last year. We will be the number 1 next year. We were the number 1 hotel builder last year. We will keep that going as well.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. Exciting times. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to, Chris, is your ability to build a team. You did it in your previous role. You were there at Tutor Perini for 24 years. How excited are you about building a team again? And what lessons have you learned in your 20 odd years of experience?
Well, the team part it's super exciting. The team I've had before, it's family. There's rough times in a family's relationship as you're building projects, but at the end of the day, you've got that family there and you have that success. The challenge, I would say, that other contractors have had in Vegas, and Vegas is a very unique animal. And the only way I can explain it is these contractors have come to town, they built one project and left because they failed miserably on that project. And I'm not talking, station wagon contractor. I'm talking some pretty big boys. They came to town and used no Las Vegas people. They were bringing in all our own forces, and we're taking this on. And then they tucked their tail between their legs and left. The great thing about Suffolk, I'm going to have a good blend of Suffolk people and Vegas people. And I know that this team's going to work good together because we're all the same mentality. It's a family. There's a goal. We're going to have fun doing what we're doing. And I wish I could name a couple projects, but I can't right now. But the excitement that's going to happen with some of these things that are going to be one of a kind, I think that's the strength of what Suffolk's bringing to the table. Is they acknowledge you have to have a Vegas presence, you have to have Vegas people, and Suffolk has a great, unique way of doing things that the Vegas people will be excited to be a part of that team. So, and then it's just going nationwide and finding the right projects for us that are also that Suffolk is also the right contractor for these clients.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Suffolk's mantra is we're America's contractor. We're going coast to coast. You will see America's contractor in our red, white, and blue all over the country.
Brilliant! I can't wait. It really is exciting, and we're gonna follow it very closely and support you all the way. Listen, Chris, this has been an absolute pleasure. I want to thank you again. This is probably the first podcast that you've been on since you've been VP, so I want to thank you for choosing the Preconstruction Podcast.
No, Gareth, thank you. This was a pleasure. I hope I educated your listeners some, or at least they had fun laughing at us. So. Again, anything I can do to help support you, myself and Suffolk are right behind you.
Absolutely. And one thing as well, I always ask my guest, obviously we've touched on a lot of things there. If there is someone that's interested in reaching out to you, has got a follow-up question, where's the best place to get you?
Send me an email. It's ccreasey@suffolk.com. So CCREASEY@suffolk.com.
Brilliant.
And if someone goes, why are you putting your email out there? I get enough spam as it is. So if they spam me, it's spam. But
we might have to change that to your LinkedIn profile, but we'll see.
Again, I have no problem because I look at every email.
Good man. Yeah.
That's the easiest way to reach out to me, and I will respond. And I look forward to working with everyone.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.